Welcome in at Sports Hub STL Games. I'm Brenden Schaeffer. Our contestant today, Joe Roderick. Are you ready to be stumped by some baseball reference pages?
Absolutely. The first ever Sports Hub STL Games. We're going to have so many of these for you on our YouTube page and all of our socials. And if I'm the test dummy for that, I'm ready for you to make me look like a dummy when it comes to what we're doing today.
Yeah, so here's the way that we've set this up. I've got 3 levels of baseball reference pages of Cardinals, former Cardinals players that played in the St. Louis Cardinals organization at some time or another. We'll go from level 1 to 2 to 3 and see how you do. Okay. The idea behind it, Joe, is it gets progressively harder as you go, but we're just trying this out for the first time. So if it's too easy for you, I'll have to maybe toughen it up. And if you're stumped by level 1, then that'll be funny and we'll make fun of you. That's kind of the way I see this going.
That's fine with me. I'll still want to see level 2 and level 3 if level 1 stumps me, but yes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So you feel free to play along at home too as you see the baseball reference pages brought up on the screen and see how you do with that. So you said these are all former Cardinals.
We're keeping it Cardinals, but they played for other teams. Each of them have played for other teams, and that's going to make it hopefully easier because you'll be able to go, oh yeah, he was on this team in this year. Maybe that kind of jogs your memory, and we'll see how you do.
Let's take a look and see what level 1 is.
Okay, bring up level 1, and we'll get it started. Hopefully, you can kind of see it there on your screen. You've got all-star information. You've got awards information. You don't have the player's position though. So let's start with this one. Was not a Cardinal when he first came into the league. So, and remember, this is level 1, supposed to be an easier one to get you started. What jumps out to you, Joe?
What jumps out to me, it wasn't until I looked at the end of his career. This one's easy. This one is a simple one.
The end of his career makes it easier for you.
As I look through and see where he went afterward, because I see Florida and then I saw St. Louis. So right off the bat, before looking at the actual stats, I was thinking Braden Looper, but then I saw that this is not a pitcher. This is a position player. And it wasn't until the end of his career, the one that jumped out at me and the one that got it for me was seeing the Giants on there.
Really?
Was seeing San Francisco. That's when I immediately knew that this is Edgar Renteria.
It is indeed Edgar Renteria,
yes.
So you got it right. I was thinking beginning of the career would help because he started with the Marlins. He was on one of those World Series teams, right? Like that
doesn't tell you World Series.
It doesn't. And I thought there would be a little World Series emblem in the corner, but that was not on there. So the Giants of all teams, and I can kind of remember being on some video games maybe in that era where like Edgar Renteria was on San Francisco. That's the best I had.
And the man showed up in the postseason. It doesn't have postseason stats on there either.
No, it doesn't.
He was clutch in the postseason.
But pretty good with the Cardinals well, and like a quintessential shortstop in my opinion. Like had the lanky frame, had the good throwing arm, could hit at the top of the order. And so Edgar Renteria, that's our first player, and I think that was a little bit easier.
Is he a Cardinal Hall of Famer or is he on the ballot this year?
He's on the ballot actually
this year. Okay.
So if you think he is, you can go vote for him now. Level 2. Let's see if this is actually any more difficult or not. I think it's kind of on the easier side still, but we'll give you a chance to kind of think through this.
All right, so 2012 started with the Cardinals, and he's a pitcher. So as you...
there's a lot on here that should be helpful in terms of the teams that he played with. Rocchio's figuring it out as we go too, okay?
So from the Cardinals to Boston to the Dodgers to the White Sox...
Notably with the White Sox for a minute, yeah.
Yeah, as I'm looking here, starter for the beginning, I think I know who this is.
Okay.
As I'm looking through the teams, I thought he played for a few more teams than this, so that's where I was a little thrown off. I wish if it had the jersey number on there, I think that'd be a lot easier too.
I could always give you
that'd be a lot easier too. But I believe level 2. This is Joe Kelly.
This is Joe Kelly. Yeah. Okay, you got. I was like, there's enough there with that one, and it's recent enough that I thought you would probably be able to come up with it. But level 2 is indeed Joe Kelly.
Yeah.
So we've gone from Edgar Renteria to Joe Kelly. Keeping it, somewhat recent. Again, this is all within my lifetime at this point. If you really end
that's what I'm wondering. I'm waiting for you to throw it back
because today it's going to be
a little behind the scenes when we were throwing out ideas for all of the game shows that we're going to do. Brenden got real cocky with one of the games that we'll be showing off later on here on Sports Hub STL.
First time you quizzed me, you go.
First time I quizzed him, he got it right away and thought he was just so good at this. So
I did.
I then threw out there a guy from the 70s and 80s, and he got angry.
Well, I was a little bit, I went like full millennial. I'm like, well, that's not even my lifetime. How could I know? And you said, that's why you're maybe not going to be perfect for this game. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Level 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a lot harder, but it's fun. This is a name that always kind of comes up in my mind when I'm thinking about things like this. So I'll be curious to see what jumps out to you about this next page.
All right. So 97, that was when I moved to St. Louis. So this would have been the first Cardinal team that I watched play. So moved down here in 97.
Okay.
And then really just took off in 98, obviously, with McGuire. So he was on that McGuire team. And as you look through here at positions and everything else, where he was, okay. The as you kind of look through these, you do look for the ones that give it away.
There's a giveaway on this one for sure.
The giveaway for me on this is the move from St. Louis to Atlanta in 2004.
Yep. And you know it's not
which brought over
he was in the trade.
Adam Wainwright, Ray King, and Jason Marquis. The big trade, the big piece of that was JD Drew.
He was the big piece of that.
But also going back to Atlanta was catcher Eli Marrero, and that's who this is.
This is Eli Marrero.
Yes.
Well done. I wasn't sure. I think the Atlanta thing in the year that it was, I thought was going to be the giveaway.
Yeah.
And it was. I'm not super satisfied with the degree to which this was difficult, but I actually did prepare secretly a level 4 to this whole conversation that if you had too easy of a time with the first 3 levels, I was going to compel us to use. So I think I am going to break it out. I don't know if this is actually more difficult.
Okay.
Because it's, again, you're a little bit older than me, and this was a little bit, this player was around in my time, but maybe his prime was before, and certainly his time with the Cardinals was before. You said you moved in 97. This should be still maybe up your alley, but we'll give you level 4. Throw it up there on the screen.
You got the fire on there too. Oh my gosh.
This was maybe not flame worthy because again, I didn't take you back to like the 1960s or anything. I'm keeping it pretty much in this generation, but give a look to this one and see what stands out to you. Level 4.
All right. So I'm going to look here. I see. So he played first base in 96.
I guess the positions are on there. I kind of forgot.
The positions are. You have to know how to read Baseball Reference for this. So from St. Louis to Cincinnati to Detroit to the Nationals.
It's a random kind of career arc for sure, and was an all-star toward the end. If you notice that, like. That was one of those, and I guess he had a pretty good OPS that year, but that was one of those where it's like everybody gets to have an all-star still in that era. So he was that for, I guess, a struggling Nationals team in 07.
I don't remember him playing the outfield, but I believe
this could be good.
I believe I know who this is.
Okay.
And I believe I interviewed him a few years ago.
This has levels to it that I was not aware.
Because I believe he did a podcast with Jason Kendall.
You better hope this is the right guy at this point. You are going down the rabbit hole.
And I sent him wrestling memorabilia, and he sent me back an autographed baseball card. I want to say, is this Dimitri Young?
This is Dimitri Young. So you have gone 4 for 4 on the first edition Sports Hub STL games, the Baseball Reference Challenge. You have
4 for 4.
Passed with flying colors. Did I make this too easy is kind of my thought. By keeping it all modern players, there was a story with each of them. You had the Marrero in the trade.
Yeah.
I got to think about maybe ways to toughen this up for you for next time.
And again, having the positions on there, that helped. And I think as we go,
cut that off. And cut the position off the screenshot. Cut the awards off the screenshot. Make it a little tougher on some of these guys.
We have a big roster here at Sports Hub STL, so we have the ability to throw other different eras up here and bring in different people that to do these games.
And I kind of like being the one to stump people because there's no pressure. I already know the answers. So this is good. I enjoyed this very much.
We'll turn it around on you next time.
Okay, fair enough.
So awesome. That was fun. That was fun.
Sports Hub STL games. There will be plenty of these on the channel coming up, and we won't just do baseball reference. Heck, we could do this with other sports as well when it comes to just guessing players, but lots of little mini games that will be coming your way in video format. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and stay tuned to all of our content here on Sports Hub STL.